This is your crypto exit strategy to make you as much money as possible over the next 6 to 12 months, as you want to sell your crypto assets as close to the market top as possible. What you really need to know is that there are two main things to pay attention to, and by the end of this video you're going to know exactly what those two things are, so you can make the most out of what could potentially be the biggest, most exciting bull market to date. Now, before I tell you all about those two very important things, if this is your first bull market, things are going to get very exciting, but it can get very emotional. So us investors need to be careful. If you've been putting the work in, if you've put together a well-researched crypto portfolio, you're potentially going to make money in the coming weeks and months faster than you've ever made money before. But there is one thing that's going to make us do stupid things as investors, and that is greed. There are other things that can lead you to making stupid investor mistakes, but trust me, when this bull market really kicks in, you're going to get greedy. It's just human nature. So you really need an exit strategy to avoid that greed. And please don't be one of those people who say things like, give me a price prediction for Bitcoin or Solana or maybe XRP. To be honest, price predictions are only good for one thing: building up your ego and making you feel like an expert crypto investor because you've picked the right coin. You might have £10,000 in XRP and the XRP army are predicting at least 10x. You start dreaming about what you're going to spend that 100 grand on, like your dream car, a few holidays, or even getting that mortgage paid off. But you need to stop dreaming for now with all these crazy price predictions. Now, getting greedy and building up that ego are your potential problems. But don't worry, I'm going to, with the info in this video, give you the solution. Now on to two things you need to know, split into part one and part two. Part one, what drives the market? And when we know this, we know when the markets are likely to go up and then start coming down again. Not exact dates, so forget this, but definitely a good idea of what's happening each week and each month. Knowing this allows us to keep our money in the market for as long as possible towards the market top. And it's going to let us know when the market is starting to slow down, because we don't want to sell too early and we don't want to sell too late. So let's talk about what really drives the market. Forget about price predictions or specific dates, they're just unreliable. Instead, focus on the data. The first key metric you need to understand is the global M2 money supply. But what is the M2 money supply? Well, it's the total amount of money in circulation in the economy, including cash and easily accessible funds. Historically, Bitcoin's price has been closely tied to this metric, an 83% correlation to be exact. Here's what you need to know. When the M2 money supply peaks, Bitcoin usually follows shortly after. For example, in 2018, the M2 peaked just after the Bitcoin bull run ended. And right now, the M2 is surging, fueled by massive government spending, like China's 1.4 trillion stimulus package. So what this tells us is that at the peak of the crypto bull market will come before the peak of the M2 money supply. All I would say is that we are in the early stages of this bull market, and you can use M2 money supply as your roadmap. Basically, keep an eye on it, and if this sort of thing is a bit too much, stay tuned to this channel and I'll be telling you exactly when I'll be taking profits and why. So when the M2 money supply starts to slow down, that's your cue to start exiting the market and to start taking profits. Now, if you're not sure how much profit to take or what strategy to use, see below for some popular strategies many crypto investors have been using over the last few years. Now, another thing we can do as investors is to look at historical data. If you look at the amount of days between the Bitcoin halving and the market top, the top of the bull market should be somewhere between April 25 and November 2025. And this is because for cycle 1, the market top was 367 days after the Bitcoin halving. Cycle 2 was 526 days after the Bitcoin halving, and cycle 3 was 547 days after the Bitcoin halving. This is literally a rough guide, but it can be used in conjunction with the M2 money supply data. The more data, the better, as far as I'm concerned. This video, in case you didn't know, is not financial advice. I'm just trying to help you with my crypto experience. Let's have a little look at market psychology. The crypto market is driven by emotion, fear and greed. And that's where the Wall Street cheat sheet comes into play. It's a tool that maps out the emotional stages of a market cycle, from disbelief to euphoria. Now we're probably in the hope stage. Optimism is returning, prices are climbing, and everyone's getting excited. But the real danger comes during the euphoria stage. That's when everyone and their grandparents are talking about crypto. And people start making reckless decisions, like mortgaging the house to buy more crypto. Another tool to watch and use alongside the Wall Street cheat sheet is the fear and greed index. When this hits levels above 90, the market is overheating. When you get to 95 plus, it's time to pay close attention, as this is when a lot of the dumb money comes back into the market. And the dumb money are led by emotions, and we'll have zero exit strategies. This isn't you, by the way, because you're watching this video and you're learning all about exit strategies. When dumb money enters the market, smart money leaves the market. And this is what me and you are planning to do over the next 6 to 12 months. So a little tip is to monitor the market's emotions using the Wall Street cheat sheet and the fear and greed index. When greed overtakes fear, it's time to act and really think about taking at least some profits off the table. Now, before we move on to part 2, I want to touch on some common mistakes. Let's talk about what not to do. Even with the best plan, mistakes can cost you big time. Here are 3 common traps to avoid. Price predictions. Don't rely on price targets like Bitcoin will hit 150k, altcoin X will 10x. You will do this, don't get me wrong, but just try not to rely on them, because these are just guesses and often lead to disappointment. Instead, focus on market trends and indicators. If you want to know how I'm using market indicators like moving averages to help me with my exit strategy, see below for a video that goes into my exit strategy in detail. 2, fixating on specific dates. Some people plan to sell on a specific date, like a new exchange listing or a big event, but markets don't follow calendars. If you wait for a specific date, you might miss the top entirely. I've given you a rough idea of where the market top might be based on historical data, but we need to keep up to date with what's actually going on as well each day, each week. 3, overtrading or over-investing. The worst mistake, chasing pumps. When you see one coin flying up in price, it's tempting to sell another and jump in, but this often results in buying high and selling low. Stay disciplined, stick to your well-researched portfolio as much as possible and focus on your exit strategy. To take this one step further, you should be approaching crypto in terms of 4-year cycles. This is how you really win in crypto. By the way, if you want to learn about my experience of 3 crypto cycles, see below for a video that will help you understand crypto cycles and really make the most out of your crypto investing. Part 2, recognize the end game. Now, before we push on with part 2, I just want to make sure you are aware of how to approach investing in general. We are all individuals and we will all invest differently. You need to be aware of your appetite for risk and your financial goals. Like, if you like safety and you're happy with an average return of about 50% per year, you're probably best off sticking to Bitcoin alone. But if you have a high risk tolerance and you want to get high returns like 2 to 3x or even 5x from now, you need to start looking at cryptos that are higher risk and have a smaller market cap than the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you want to know my top 5 cryptos for 2025, see below in the description. The first thing to pay attention, which we've covered, is what drives the market, which we now know is the M2 money supply, liquidity in the economy basically. The second thing is to recognize the end game. Whatever you get out of this video, the most important thing is to make sure you have a strategy, any exit strategy. Then you stick to your strategy and avoid emotional decisions. If you do this, I'm confident you will do well over the next 6 to 12 months. Now, after Bitcoin peaks, it's time for altcoin season, where we are now. This is when smaller coins tend to skyrocket as investors shift their focus. Here's how it works. Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin's share of the overall crypto market starts to decline after it tops out. As I'm sat recording this video, this is where we are now. Bitcoin dominance has started to fall a little bit and altcoin season has started. This is when altcoins take off, often delivering massive returns, but the window is short, so timing is everything. By the way, this video contains some really important info, so if you need to, get your notebook out, rewatch this video and take some notes. So, part of recognizing the end game is to monitor Bitcoin dominance. When it starts to dip, shift your focus to high potential altcoins, but don't chase the hype. Either stick to your well-researched portfolio or get into one or two others if you fully research them and have high conviction. So how do you really know when it's really time to cash out? Well, you look for these signs. Crypto apps like Coinbase and Binance topping the App Store charts. Celebrities hyping their own coins or NFTs. You will have definitely seen this in 2021, no doubt about it. Big banks like JP Morgan making wild predictions like Bitcoin to $1 million in this cycle. This will happen in my opinion, but not in this cycle. So just be aware of crazy predictions because it's a sign that it's time to exit. Your friends and family will be all over you like a rash, asking you what to buy and asking your opinion on what price Solana gets to or whatever else, whatever crypto they're buying. I spent too much time talking to friends and colleagues in the last bull run, far too much time, because literally none of them wanted to learn about crypto. They just want me to tell them when to buy and when to sell. This is one of the reasons why I've published 3 crypto courses within my school community, so I can give people everything I've learned in crypto over the last 7 years. And if they don't want to do courses, I know they're not serious about crypto. The link for my crypto community on school can be found below in the description. You get 3 courses, as I've said, you get around other like-minded crypto investors, and you get access to my weekly newsletter. And this newsletter will tell you news and give you loads of info on mindset and things like technical indicators so you know when to sell. Anyway, back to the video. These are all classic signs of a market top. When you see them, it's time to exit. No matter how tempting it is to stay in. Stay alert to media and hype. If you give your exit strategy the focus it deserves, you'll know when it's time to get out. When everyone's talking about crypto, it's time to cash out. Summary. So here's your complete crypto exit strategy. 1. Watch the M2 money supply to gauge the market cycle. 2. Use the Wall Street cheat sheet and fear and greed index to track market emotions. 3. Avoid common mistakes like chasing pumps or relying on price predictions. 4. Time altcoin exits carefully after Bitcoin peaks. 5. Look for signs of excessive hype as your final warning to exit. If you stick to what I've been saying in this video, you'll be well prepared to cash out with maximum profit. If you want to learn more, well, subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button and comment below with your questions. Anyway, let's smash this bull market together and good luck with your crypto investing over the next year or so.